Dandavat Pranam Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Those who want to open their video, please open your video. So we are reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15. Krishna is explaining about how the soul entangled in this material world. This nice example has given, like air, like Vayur Gandhi Vasha. Air carries aroma. The soul carries different desire from one body to another. Then we read next verse. The living thus taking another gross body, like aroma, air carries aroma. So by carrying that type of thought, obtains certain type of body, and it is certain type of body, certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, sense of touch, like. And how soul leaves one body and transmigrates in another body, ignorant cannot see. Only intelligent person can see. Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanang va gunamitam. Vimura no anupashyanti, pashyanti jnana chakshusha. Utkramantam, quitting this body. Sthitam, situated in the body. Vapi, either. Bhunjanam, enjoying. Va or gun annitam, under the spell of the modes of material nature. Vimura, foolish persons. Non-pashyati, never can see. Pashyanti, can see. Jnana chakshusha, those who have eyes of knowledge. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sort of body he enjoys under the spell of modes of nature. But one whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Here, Vimura non-upashyati. Ignorant cannot see. Pashyanti jnana-chakshusha. Who can see? See through the eye of knowledge. Here Krishna is not an eye of love. Eye of love you can see Krishna. But here, seeing this type of thing, how soul transmigrates from one body to another, or that we need some eyes of knowledge. Jnana chakshusha. The word jnana chakshuhu is very significant. Like when you see sun and moon, you can see the silver or golden plate like that. But we see through our knowledge. The rope and the snake looks alike, but intelligent person can see the snake through eye of knowledge. Without knowledge, one cannot understand how a living entity leaves his present body, nor what form of body he is going to take in the next life, nor even why he is living in the particular type of body. This requires a great amount of knowledge understood from Bhagavad Gita and similar literatures, heard from a bona fide spiritual master. One who is trained to perceive all these things is fortunate. Every living entity is quitting his body under certain circumstances. He is living under certain circumstances, and he is enjoying under certain circumstances, under the spell of material nature. As a result, he is suffering different kinds of happiness and distress. Under the illusion of sense enjoyment, persons who are everlastingly fooled by lust and desire lose all power to understand their change of body and their stay in a particular body. They cannot comprehend it. Those who have developed spiritual knowledge, however, can see that the spirit is different from the body and is changing its body and enjoying in different ways. A person in such knowledge can understand how the conditioned living entity is suffering in this material existence. Therefore, those who are highly developed in Krishna consciousness try their best to give this knowledge to the people in general. For their conditional life is very much troublesome. They should come out of it and be Krishna conscious and liberate themselves to transfer to the spiritual world. How we can develop that type of eye to see? Jatanta yuginaschainam pushyanti atmani avasthitam. Jatanta vi akitatmano ninam pushyanti achetasya. Jatanta endeavoring. Yogina, transcendentalist, also. This, pushyanti can see atmani in the self. Avasthitam, situated. Jatantaha, endeavoring. Opi, although. Akrita atmanaha, those without self. Akrita atmana, those without self-realization. Akrita atmana means those without self-realization. No, do not enum this pushyanti see achetasaha, having undeveloped minds. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. There are many transcendentalists on the path of spiritual self-realization, but one who is not situated in self-realization cannot see how things are changing in one body of the living entity. The word yogina is significant in this connection. In the present day, there are many so-called yogis, and there are many so-called associations of yogis, but they are actually blind in the matter of self-realization. They are simply addicted to some sort of gymnastic exercise and are satisfied if the body is well built and healthy. They have no other information. They are called jatanta api akritatmanaha. Even though they are endeavoring in a so-called yoga system, they are not self-realized. Such people cannot understand the process of the transmigration of the soul. Only those who are actually in the yoga system and have realized the self, the world, and the Supreme Lord, in other words, the Bhakti Yogis, those engaged in the pure devotional service in Krishna consciousness, can understand how things are taking place. Now some tips how to see, how to develop the eye of knowledge. Jat aditya gautam tejo jagat bhashat akhilam. Jat chandramasi jat chagnu tat tejo vidyamaham. First said, akritatmana cannot. Only who can see? Those are the eye of knowledge. Who can develop their eye of knowledge? Yogi. If yogi can see, how they will see? Then the practical tips. Jat, that is aditya gautam, in the sunshine. Teja, splendor. Jagat, whole world. Bhashayate, illuminates. Akhilam, entirely. Jat, that is. Chandramoshi, in the moon. Jat, that is. So also. Agnu, in fire. Tat, that. Teja, splendor. Vidhi, understand. Mamakam, from me. The splendor of the sun, which dissipates the darkness of the whole world, comes from me. And the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. Now, Krishna said, one should develop the eye of knowledge to see. How? Only see the sunshine, moonshine coming from me. That way try to understand. We cannot see air through our eye, but you can feel the presence. You have to develop that sense. The unintelligent cannot understand how things are taking place, but one can begin to be established in knowledge by understanding what the Lord explains here. Everyone sees the sun, moon, fire, and electricity. One should simply try to understand that the splendor of the sun, the splendor of the moon, and the splendor of the electricity or fire are coming from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In such a conception of life, the beginning of Krishna consciousness lies a great deal of advancement for the conditioned soul in this material world. The living entities are essentially the parts and parcels of the Supreme Law. And he is giving here with the hint how they can come back to Godhead, back to Him. From this verse, we can understand that the sun is illuminating the whole universe. There are different universes, and there are different suns, moons, and planets also. But in each universe, there is only one sun. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, the moon is one of the stars. Nakshatranam aham shashi. Sunlight is due to the spiritual effulgence in the spiritual sky of the Supreme Lord. With the rise of the sun, the activities of human beings are set up. They set fire to prepare their food stuff. They set fire to start the factories, etc. So many things are done with the help of fire. Therefore, sunshine, fire, and moonlight are also pleasing to the living entities. Without their help, no living entity can live. So, if one can understand that the light and the splendor of the sun, moon, and fire are emanating from the Supreme Person of Godhead, Krishna, then one's Krishna consciousness will begin. By the moonshine, all the vegetables are nourished. The moonshine is also pleasing, that people can easily understand that they are living by the mercy of the Supreme Personal Godhead Krishna. Without his mercy, there cannot be sun. Without his mercy, there cannot be moon. And without his mercy, there cannot be fire. And without the help of sun, moon, and fire, no one can live. These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness in the conditions. Very nice point. These are some thoughts to provoke Krishna consciousness. These are some thoughts. When you see sunshine, moonshine, where is coming from Krishna? By seeing sunshine, moonshine, then remember Krishna. If you go little, proceed further, how the planets are floating in the air. It is very difficult to float in the water. If you put in the stone, it will sink in the water. But with big, big mountains, planets are floating in the air. How it is possible? Their answer is giving next verse. Gama vishya bhutani dharayami omajasha pushnami cha vishadi sharva shamabhutta rasatma. Gama vishya, entering into the planets. Gam means planets. Avishya, entering. Cha also. Bhutani, the living entities. Dharayami, sustain. Aham, I. Ojosha, by my energy. Pushnami, I nourishing. I am nourishing. I am nourishing. Cha and Oshadhi, vegetables. Sarva, all. Sumo, this moon. Bhutta, becoming. Rasha Atmaka, supplying the juice. I enter into planet and by my energy, they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all vegetables. Bhagavad Gita 10th chapter. Wherever you see something extraordinary, think my energy. Here explaining again. When you see planets are floating, how? How the vegetables are nourished? Everything coming from Krishna. It is understood that all the planets are floating in the air only by the energy of the Lord. The Lord enters into every atom, every planet, and every living being. That is discussed in Brahma Samhita. It is said there that one plenary portion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma, enters into the planets, the universe, the living entities, and even into the atom. Annantarastha paramanuchaya antarastham. So, due to his entrance, everything is appropriately manifested. When the spirit soul is there, a living man can float on the water. But when the living spark is out of the body is dead, the body sinks. Those who experience, those who swim. When soul is not there, he cannot float. Soul lives, then he will sink. Now people may think, oh, after die also dead body floats. That is for another reason. Dead body, when it is putrefied, so many gas inside forms. Due to that it floats. It is not due to soul. Of course, when it is decomposed, it floats just like a straw and other things. But as soon as the man is dead, he at once sink in the water. Similarly, all these planets are floating in space. And this is due to the interference of the supreme energy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. His energy is sustaining each planet, just like a handful of dust. If someone holds a handful of dust, there is no possibility of the dust falling. But if one throws it in the air, it will fall down. Similarly, these planets which are floating in the air are actually held in the fist of the universal form of the Supreme Lord by the strength and energy. All moving and non-moving things stay in their space. It is said in the Vedic hymns that because of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sun is shining and the planets are steadily moving. Jishya Gaya Brahmati Shangrita Kalachak. Jishya Agya Brahmati, by whose Agya Adesh, Brahmati travels Shangrita Kalachak in the cycle. Were it not for him, all the planets would scatter like dust in air and perish. Similarly, it is due to the Supreme Personality of Godhead that the moon nourishes all vegetables. Due to moon's influence, the vegetables become delicious. Without the moonshine, the vegetables are neither grow nor taste succulent. Human society is working, living comfortably, and enjoying food due to the supply from Supreme Lord. Otherwise, mankind could not survive. The word Rashatmakaha is very significant. Rasa Atmakaha. Everything becomes palatable by the agency of the Supreme Lord through the influence of the moon. Rasatmaka. Dieting has no taste. Not only that, it's tasty. After taste, what is your activity? After eating, we need the help of the Lord for digest also. For tasty thing, we need Lord's help. But after eating, without Lord's help, we can digest that. And Lord saying, I am also digestive fire. Aham Bushanara Hutta Praninam Deham Asita. Pranapano Samajukta Pachan Annam Chaturvitam. Aham I, Bushanara, my plenary portion of the digesting fire. Bushanar is a fire, digesting fire. That is Krishna's plenary portion. Aham Bushanar Bhutta, becoming Praninam of all living things. Deham Asrita, situated in the bodies. And by situating, Prano Apana Prano, the outgoing air. Apana, the downgoing air. Pranvayu is outgoing air. How to remember? Pranvayu nikal gaya. Then Pranvayu is outgoing air. Apanvayu is downgoing air. Shama yuktaha, keeping it balanced. Pachami, I digest. Annam, food stuff. Chaturvidham, the four kinds. And the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities. And I join with the air of life, outgoing and incoming, to digest the four kinds of food stuff. According to Ayurvedic Shastra, we understand that there is a fire in the stomach which digests all food sent there. When the fire is not blazing, there is no hunger. And when there is fire when the fire is in order, we become hungry. Maybe young boy cannot understand that. Old age people can understand how it is difficult to digest food. Sometimes when the fire is not going nicely, treatment is required. In any case, this fire is representative of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vedic mantras, Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, also confirms that the Supreme Lord or Brahman is situated in the form of fire within the stomach and is digesting all kinds of food stuff. Aham Agnir Vashanara Joyam Anta Purusha Jenedam Annam Pachyate. Therefore, since he is helping the digestion of all kinds of food stuff, the living entity is not independent in the eating process also. Young is very it's very difficult to accept God. In old age, you can easily understand. I have eaten, I cannot digest also. Oh Lord, please help me so that I can digest. If I cannot digest, I cannot eat, how will survive? So when you cannot digest, then you can remember Krishna. Yes. Unless the Supreme Lord helping digestion, there is no possibility of eating. He thus produces and digests food stuff, and by his grace we are enjoying life. In the Vedanta Sutra, this is also confirmed. Shabdadibbo anta pratishthanascha. The Lord is situated within the sound and within the body, within the ear, and even within the stomach as the digestive force. There are 4 kinds of food stuff. Chorbo, chosho, lejja, peyo. Some are drunk, peyo. Some are chewed, chorbo. Some are licked, lejja. And some are sucked, chosho. And he is the digestive force of all of them. Chaturvidasi Bhagavad. Sadhana Tirtan Hari Bhakta. So I don't want to read text 15. It is a very powerful verse 15. Prabhupada has quoted so many times this verse. We'll read this slowly. There's 2 parts of the verse. Sarvasya Hridi Sannivishta Matta Jnana Sthirapanancha. From Krishna comes Smriti, Jnanam, and Apanam. Smriti, remembrance. Jnanam, knowledge. Apanam, forgetfulness. Everything Krishna. And next 2 lines is another part. Vedoishcha Sarvam Aham Evavidya. The purpose of Ved is to know me. Aham. Vedanta Krit. Who has made these Vedas? Myself. And Vedovito. Who know Ved? I only know. So one should know Lord in suffering. And Krishna is demanding that thing. So we'll read 2 more back. Okay, Gopal Das has raised hand.
Hare Krishna, Guru Maharaj Dandatram. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj. Guru Maharaj, my question is from some previous verse, where that come devotees' first quality is non-envious. Also, I heard in one lecture that if we criticize any even insect, so we indirectly criticize Krishna because they are all creature of Krishna. So, Guru Maharaj, in devotee community, we understand that it is okay to not criticize devotees. But when we go in outside world, like college or coaching, and some people are doing wrong activities, so in mind automatically comes some wrong thinking. So how can we cultivate?
It is not criticized. If we tell a thief, it is not criticized. But devotees are compassionate. If a child become thief, mother will not tell other that my son become thief. She will feel pain in herself. It is not that she will tell other. So when devotee sees somebody is doing mistake, sure, by telling other, he will not feel pleasure. On the other hand, he will feel pain. How we can help him? By making him Krishna conscious. Okay.
Yes, Guru. Thank you very much, Guru Maharaj.
Kanu Chandra Jena. You are from where?
Hare Krishna Maharaj Guru. Pranam. Maharaj, I am from Bhubaneswar.
Okay.
Maharaj, doubt is in Bhagavad Gita 6.29. Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Hridaya se Arjunam Tishtati. Our Lord always present in everyone's heart. The Lord has primarily two energies. One is superior energy, one is inferior energy. The living entity, although part of superior energy and conditioned by inferior energy. I want to know about the living entity going to which energy?
Living entity. What is the line? The two energy. Superior and inferior energy.
Yes.
This Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter said that is two energy. Apara and para.
Upper and
Apara and para. Apara is 8 elements. Rav, Janala, Anlabai, Khang, Mani, Ahankar, Me, Vinna, Prakriti, Rashtata. Prakriti means energy. Aparyamitisthana, the apara, Nikrishta, inferior. And Prakriting Vidyame Param. That is soul. Jiva Bhutang Mahava. The soul is superior energy and this material world is inferior energy. Thank you. Prabhupada, Bhagavad Gita.